Why is black on black love important to show in media? This is a comment that I got a while ago on my channel, but it's appropriate that I'm just now seeing it because it's Black History Month, so let's get into it. Well, the simple answer is because representation matters, and through representation it equals normalization, but I'm Black Gay Comic Geek. I don't deal in simple answers because one of my missions is to decolonize your fantasy, so let's get into the more nuanced answer, shall we? Just like with almost everything with American life and culture specifically, it all goes back to slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and racism. So this right here is what is called the mammy trope in American fiction. And the mammy was always depicted as an unattractive, larger, dark-skinned black woman who was a domestic who always cared for white children. And she loved the white children so much that she was neglectful to her own children and would oftentimes give her own life to protect the white family and the white children, but would not do the same thing for her own kids. And in many ways, you can still see an updated version of this trope to this day, because I would argue that the character of Evelyn, played by Alfre Woodard in the movie Annabeth, that was a mammy. And when it comes to the mammy, you never see the father or any inclinations of a happy black household. And I could go through other black stereotypes like the tragic mulatto, the Sambo, the Jezebel, etc. But I don't want this video to go 20 minutes long. Most people aren't going to make it that far. Most people probably didn't even make it this far. Then you think about real world depictions of stereotypes of black people: the angry black man, the angry black woman, the difficult black woman, the fact that black fathers never stick around to take care of their kids. I mean, hell, even think about the backlash that happened during the Ironheart show, where these racist white podcasters were making fun of Riri Williams because her father wasn't in the house. They're like, oh, this is the most realistic thing about the show. She doesn't have a black father. Then even when you get to depictions in media, more times than not, especially lately, anytime you see a black person and they're in the relationship, it's usually always with a white person, especially if they're queer. And I'm not gonna go through all of media, of course. I'll just use comics as an example. The first time we saw Blue Marvel, he was married to a white woman. Luke Cage is married to Jessica Jones. Misty Knight, for the longest time, was in a relationship with Danny Rand Iron Fist. Synch from the X-Men. When he first was created in comics, he was in a relationship with Monet St. Croix, a black woman. And then his character died. They brought him back to life. And as far as I know in the comics, they never even had Synch and Monet have a conversation, despite the fact that the last time Monet saw Synch, he died in her arms. But instead of putting them back together or even giving them a conversation together, they put him with a white woman, Laura Kinney. North Star and his husband. His husband's a black man. To say black on black romance doesn't exist, I don't know if they're still together, but Sam Wilson was with Misty Knight. Blue Marvel was with Monica Rambeau. Storm and T'Challa, but also every time they put them together, they break them back up again. And again, representation matters, and through representation equals normalization. So that doesn't mean that interracial relationships aren't important to depict. But 9 times out of 10, anytime you see an interracial relationship in media, it's always white and somebody else. It's almost never like, say, black and Asian, Asian and Indian, native and black, native and like, it's always just white and this, white and this. It's always white, 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 white. And then an added layer on top of that, when you even get into some interracial relationship depicted in media, and you have the disposable black boyfriend and black girlfriend trope. Now, to explain that, the disposable black boyfriend and girlfriend trope, it's when a main character, usually white, ends up in a relationship with somebody black, but we know that black person is an endgame. They're gonna end up leaving that black person, not even because that person was trash or did something wrong, because they go to the love of their life. I'll use an example of Invincible. In the comics, Amber was a white girl, but they made Amber black in the show. But if you know the comics and you know Invincible, even just look at the way the story is going, you know Amber wasn't going to be Endgame. His Endgame was going to be Eve. Or using an example from a queer relationship, Agatha All Along. Who is Billy currently dating right now in that show? He's dating Eddie. Eddie is a black guy, and Marvel has said that Eddie is not Teddy. Teddy is going to be cast later in the future. Unless they're lying or whatever, which they could very well be. We know that Billy's endgame is going to be Teddy, is going to be Hulkling. So eventually, him and Eddie are going to break up for him to be with Hulkling, disposable black boyfriend. Sex education. You had the character of Eric dating the character of Raheem, 2 black guys, only for Eric to leave Raheem for his white bully, Adam. Got the character of Nightwing. When he lost his memory, he got with B, a black woman. The second he got his memory back, you never saw B ever again. Disposable black woman. You got John Stewart, the Green Lantern, in the Justice League cartoon with Vixen, only for him to leave her for Shira Hall, Hawkgirl. Poison Ivy's ex-girlfriend, the Gardener, was only introduced to be a temporary girlfriend for Pamela, but then her real love interest is Harley Quinn, and we never saw the Gardener ever again. They never really even developed her character outside of just being Poison Ivy's ex. And these multitudes of examples, and I could continue to go on. Like I said, I can make this a 20-minute video, even going back to the fact that once upon a time, black people weren't even allowed to get married to each other. So just the idea of black-on-black romance and love is an idea of power. It's an act of rebellion. It's a political stance. That's why black-on-black romance is important. But most of you didn't even make it this far in the video. But if you happen to make it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Leave me a power fist and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm.